I'm going to break down the Baylor baseball roster for the 2026 season. I'll give my takes on the ceiling and floor for the team. Apologize for looking out because I cannot memorize all this stuff. It is a 37 player roster, and granted, I do not know about the injuries situation at all. So, how many seniors, including fifth year seniors, does this team have, and even redshirt seniors? So, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine of those. How many juniors? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine of those. One, two, three, four, five, six sophomores, and I got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight freshmen, and it's including all the red shirts and all this too on the classification. Just gotta keep that in mind. Now, in terms of the number of right-handed pitchers does this team have? It is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and including 16. And a few of those play like infield, and one of them actually plays both infield and outfield, by the way. And there are like 4 lefties on the roster in terms of pitchers. Now, the number of outfielders on the team is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eight of those. Two of them play like just first base. And a number of infielders, which is not including first baseman in all this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those. And I know like Reebok could play in the outfield supposedly, and Coast Lancolos could play in the outfield, and right-handed pitcher Luke McLeod could be like a right-handed pitcher, and same thing goes for Caldwell McFadden. I'm just pointing that out. And there are 3 catchers on the roster, and we'll know what they're going to do in terms of starters throughout the year. They hopefully have a good rotation, especially for the Big 12 series, especially those Friday night games. Because you got to not just win your Saturday and Sunday games, you got to win some Friday night games too. I'm just saying, in terms of the Big 12, the preseason poll has them at 11, and that would mean they would miss the Big 12 tournament. Just got to keep that in mind. Now, I do think it is helpful that Baylor baseball this year avoids Kansas State and Kansas, as well as Arizona in terms of the conference games. Yes, I know Baylor plays Kansas State, but that is a non-conference game. So that is big. That Baylor will avoid both Kansas schools as well as Arizona. And Arizona is like number 2 in the league. The only other school with the first place vote. Just let you know. And obviously, too, so you got the other ones. And Kansas is like tied for 5th in the league. And Kansas State is tied for 7th. I mean, that's tied for 7th, but they're exactly 7th in the league in the preseason poll. So, yeah, that is helpful. Now, I'm going to just say worst case scenario, they do not make NCAAs, obviously. And they could very well miss the Big 12 tournament. Like, whether it's 11, 12. I don't know about being at the very bottom at 14. But, or 13. I'm just saying in general. Now, the ceiling, I'm not going to go totally nuts and say top 4 in the league. I don't see that happening. But it is a doable conference schedule. Though they have to go, they do have to go on the road to Arizona State. That's a tough one, and same thing goes for Oklahoma State. But they get TCU at home in terms of the conference, and same thing goes for West Virginia as well in terms of the better teams that are projected to be in the league. And granted, preseason polls don't mean anything at the very end of the day. They're just talking points, and results could speak for themselves down the line. Now, in terms of the Big 12, I think it's more realistic to say six in the league. I don't know about top four, but six makes sense to me, given the conference schedule, how it shook out for this year. I mean, you're gonna avoid like the second best team projected wise, as well as like Kansas that's tied for fifth, and Kansas State that's seventh. And I know Baylor plays Kansas State, like I said, but that is a non-conference game. So I think six in the league is realistic. If they could get through the early part or the conference schedule like a West Virginia series, find a way to win 2 out of 3. Oklahoma State series, you just got to win at least one game, not get swept. They obviously have to play better against Houston in general. Then they need to take care of business against BYU at home and Cincinnati on the road. At least get one game against TCU. Maybe Arizona State, they could get one game. And Texas Tech, maybe they could get a game or two. And obviously being UCF would be huge, helpful 2 out of 3. And the same thing goes for Utah. So I do think they could finish top 6 in the league if they start good enough. And they also need to finish stronger than they have been these last few years at the very end of the day. Do I think this is an NCAA tournament team? I think there's some potential to do that, but I'm not going to say they're like a World Series team or Super Regionals. I see that the ceiling, honestly, as a regional, but anything could happen in the regionals. So that's just my quick thoughts on the Baylor baseball team for the 2026 season. But the wait and see, and I do think it is a big year for Mitch Thompson, because if they make the NCAAs, I think he definitely stays. I really, really do. It's more like if he doesn't, what's going to happen? I don't know. And hopefully they start good enough in terms of the non-conference, and they have enough good quality games on here that they need to take advantage of. Whether it's a neutral site or a home game, and those games that they need to win the series no matter what, if not sweep, just to help the NCAA tournament chances as well. That also plays a factor, like the RPI. So they have to have a good enough RPI just to even think about the NCAA idea and all this. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe, and see you guys later on the road to 800 subscribers, goals, ultimate goals, 1,000 more. Some of those scores. Like video, comment, it really helps YouTube algorithm. Some more people see this, and the video does help as well. Some more people can watch, and if you're watching and not subscribe, hit subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. And they could be really good in the midweek like they were last year. That would be very helpful. It's just you got to bring that midweek, how you play during the midweek for these conference series, especially for the bigger games. They need to find a way to win more conference games and not try to sweat it out just to even think about making a Big 12 tournament. And obviously, if you win the Big 12 tournament in baseball, you're in the NCAAs, but I just don't know how realistic that is. I'm just saying, find a way to be an NCAA tournament team regardless of the Big 12 tournament. And if you finish high enough in the conference, you could technically make the NCAAs, but it also depends about what you do in a non-con. I'm just being honest.